Hi there everyone, FX Major here. Okay guys, on this video I will be doing a weekly forecast or rather a weekly breakdown of how the market will be doing and what we will expect or rather should expect from the market, right? So if you are new to our YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe, and if you are new to our Facebook account or Facebook page or social media pages, make sure that you follow so that you don't miss out on any updates or any uploads that we are going to make, right? So that you do not miss out on any video that we will be uploading, right? So make sure that you subscribe and make sure that you follow us, right? Okay, so on this video, I'll be doing, or rather, we'll be doing with you guys a weekly breakdown of what we should expect and how we should expect it to happen, right? So we'll be having gold and Nasdaq. We'll be doing gold and Nasdaq because I have been seeing that gold has been having a beautiful bullish move, right? Which actually made us to capitalize more on gold. If you are in our Telegram channel, you would see how we have been capitalizing more on our gold, right? Or rather on gold. And with Nasdaq, Nasdaq has been having beautiful uptrending move, but however we are expecting a reversal, right? But before we go there, let's quickly start with gold and see what we should expect and what we should expect this coming week, right? Okay, so as you know guys, that I personally start from a daily time frame, but however some people prefer a weekly time frame as they from their perspective, it shows them a good preview of the market. But however, I feel like the daily time frame and the weekly time frame is one and the same thing. It's like taking a 4 hour time frame and a daily time frame, right? So it's one and the same thing. The only difference is that you'll get a much more larger scale on a weekly time frame compared to the daily time frame. But however, what we want to know is the overall direction of the market, right? Hence why we use higher time frames. So there's not personally, I don't think there is any difference between the daily time frame and the weekly time frame. They just show us the full view of how the market has been doing, right? Okay, so looking at this, we can see and clearly see that gold has been moving in a beautiful uptrending structure, right? Or rather a bullish structure. But however, at this level here, we had a consolidation level, right? Before the market shot to the upside. Before the market shot to the upside, right? So the reason being why we are doing this, or rather doing the top-down analysis, is for us to actually get a full view of the market and how the market is behaving, right? Because we cannot just take a trade and expect to get good results, or else we do not know the direction of the market. Hence why people always say that the trend is your friend, right? The trend is your friend. So looking at this, we can see that we have been having a good consolidation level until we have broken that consolidation level and shot to the upside, right? So we can see and clearly see that the market in its current time frame from 2024, let me use the cross line, from 2024 the market has been bullish, right? The market has been bullish, whereas we can also consider this as a change of market structure, where we can say that, okay, from this time frame, the market decided to shoot to the upside, right? Okay, so now since we have the full view of the market, right? That the market is bullish, what we can only expect is bullish trades or rather buying trades, because what the market is bullish. The only time we can take selling trades is when we can now have high assurity and confidence that now we are facing a reversal. That's the only time we can say that, okay, now we are looking for a bearish market. Okay, so looking at this, we should start with our trend line, which indicates to us on how the market is moving, right? Which is a bullish momentum, right? We have a bullish structure, right? We have a bullish structure, which indicates to us that the market is bullish, and the only thing we can expect from the market is bullish momentum, right? Or rather bullish move. But however, we have also what we call trends in trends, whereby trends in trends, they show us the reversal of the market, right? How the market is reversing, and also the consolidations which are happening inside that current market. Because if you can take this for example, we can see clearly that we had a trend of this nature, which indicated to us as a form of consolidation at this level, right? Until the market broke outside it and went to the upside, right? Then we also have a trend inside this trend, which indicated to us as a continuation trend, right? A continuation trend, right? So we have a consolidation trend, which is this area here. Let me highlight it, which is this area here, which is our consolidation level, right? And we have a breakout of that level, which is a continuation trend, right? So if we remove this consolidation zone here and just remove this, we now know that we have broken our consolidation zone. Let me just leave this one so we can have a clear understanding of the continuation which we have, right? Okay, to make it much more visible, right? So this is our continuation. Why? Because we had a breakout of the consolidation, which this in all reacted to a change of market structure, right? To a change of what? A market structure. So we now know that we are expecting bullish momentum only. We are expecting bullish momentum because we have this change of market structure, which, let me just change of market structure. Let me just put it here. This is our change of market structure, right? Which led to us to have a continuation of the bullish momentum, right? So as soon as we started having a continuation of a bullish momentum, we can now see that we have a beautiful, 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 beautiful trend to the upside, which, as I've said prior, that we have what we call a trends in trends, right? For example, let me take this consolidation level here, right? We have this level as our consolidation level, as our consolidation level, right? Okay, so sorry for the disturbance. Okay, so we can see that we have a consolidation level, which is a trend in trend. So the reason being why we have consolidation levels is because that they help boost the market with momentum, right? They help boost the market with momentum, whether to the downside or the upside. So this is what we call a bearish consolidation, right? Because it falls on the bearish side, which we can put it here as the bearish consolidation. Okay, this is our bearish consolidation. This is our bearish consolidation, which gave us a beautiful move to the upside, right? Hence why this is so much important, because it gives us the full view of the market and what to expect. Because if we have a consolidation level as this one, we would know that in a smaller time frame, we would take our buy trade at this point here, to probably at this point here with a stop loss just tight enough, because we know the direction, right? Including here, same thing. depending on what type of trader are you. We have scalp traders, we have swing traders, we have position traders, we have different types of traders, right? Depending on the type of trader which you are, you can just enter position here and hold until you get to this level here, or you can enter at this point here and close at this point here, right? So this is why it's important to actually look the market in a full view, right, before making any further decisions, right? So another thing which we can also look at from our impulse move to the upside, another thing which we can see is that we have another consolidation level, right? Which I have explained to you guys that our consolidation level is a power boost of a momentum, right? A power boost of an impulse move, right? So we can see that we broke outside our consolidation level and we had an impulse move to the upside. So what does this give us, or rather tells us, or rather shows us? It shows us that we have passed our highest levels, right? Or rather our consolidation level, which we have our highest highs, right? It tells us that as soon as we have passed through our highest highs, we will now be trading above our highest highs, right? We will be trading above our highest highs. So therefore, we can expect all this to be what we will be trading above, right? So even in such a case whereby we have the market move to the downside, we pretty much know that as soon as the market comes to this point here, it will have a move to the upside, right? It will have a move to the upside. It will have a move to the upside until we break out of that consolidation level. But this can only happen if we will be having a consolidation within this level, right? This can only happen if we have a consolidation within this level. That's when we can expect to have a consolidation within this level. But however, if the market still breaks this zone here, we'll still expect a continuation to the upside. But however, I can feel that the market is a bit exhausted from all the impulse move and all the consolidation which is it has been having since, right? So I do believe that from now until probably next year, gold will be moving in consolidations until probably it breaks outside the consolidation. And as soon as it breaks outside the consolidation, we will be expecting a huge impulse move to the downside, right? Unless it will respect this level here, which is our level of consolidation, whereby we can see that as soon as the market came to this point here, it reversed, came here, it reversed, came here, it reversed, right? So this is what we are expecting on a larger time frame, right? We are expecting a consolidation at this point here, but however, if the market does break outside this level here, we will expect that the market reverses and retests that level, right? But however, if we do not have a breakout and a retest at this level here, we will not be expecting any continuation move, right? We'll just be expecting a consolidation, right? Okay, so let me remove this from now because that's not what I'm anticipating and expecting that gold does, right? That's not what I am expecting from gold. Okay, so since we can see that we will be having a consolidation move and we have just broken outside our previous consolidation. What we can say and do and anticipate is that we can see that we have been having an uptrend, right? So what does this tell us about an uptrend? It tells us that as soon as the market is moving in an uptrend, it has high possibilities of it continuing to the upside. But one thing that we should not miss out is this level here. We have a spike here, right? this is what we should not miss out, or rather take out of our analysis, because this is what will help us a lot in determining the market behavior, right? And the market reversal or other rejection, right? However, there's a lot of possibilities here, right? Hence why we have to move from a daily time frame to a 4-hour time frame, because there's a lot of possibilities and there's a lot of things that can happen, right? So let's just zoom it out. Okay, so looking at this, we can see that the market is actually reversing at our resistance trend line zone, right? So we can see that we have somehow a reversal, right? Because why? Because the market is failing to break outside this reversal zone, is failing to break outside, retest, and continue to the upside. It's failing to do that. So this means to us that we are expecting a consolidation level, right? Which can act in a form of this type of consolidation, which can act in this type of consolidation, which can act in this type of consolidation, and then to the downside before shooting to the upside, or this level here, or this type of consolidation which we have here, right? It has two possibilities, either the first one, which is what we can see here with these dots, or the second one, which I have just thrown right now, right? So we have two possibilities on gold. We have two possibilities on gold, whereby we will anticipate for gold to continue to the downside, but however, we are not sure about the full view, or rather the full move of gold, on which move it will take, whether the first one or the second one, right? But this is what will help us, right? Going further to smaller time frames, because looking at this, I can clearly see that we have an uptrending move which happened from that impulse, right? Which is the impulse move that we had. So this is another thing that I told you guys about trends in trends, right? Trends in trends are so much helpful because you can see what the market is doing on a huge time frame and also on smaller time frames. Okay, so looking at this, we can clearly see that we have an uptrending structure, and therefore the market has to break that uptrending structure. But how will the market break this structure? Is that personally, I feel like this move, which is here, the market won't respect this move highly because we have an uptrending structure, right? I'll explain right now. Okay, let me just remove it. I feel like the market will respect this one here. Why? Reason being that we have an uptrending structure, and as soon as we have an uptrending structure, the market has to do what? It has to break that uptrending structure, retest, and continue to the downside, and probably retest to test that previous level before continuing to the downside, to test this level, continue to the upside, and close this order block here, which we had, go to the downside, and make test is right before continuing to the upside, moving with an impulse move to the downside, and having a continuation to the upside, right? This is the only move which I'm actually expecting from the market. Let me show you this, right? This is a form of what we call an order block, right? Whereby there's high chances that the market will reach that order block. And this is a level which we will say it's a retest level before a continuation to the downside. And this level here is a level which we can consider as either an order block or a support level, right? A support level, which as soon as the market reaches this point here, it will want to go and test that previous resistance level, to test the previous resistance level, right? Before continuing to the downside. As I've said that we might be having a consolidation level, which will be somewhat in this type of formation before a proper move, right? Before a proper move to the upside. So this is what I'm actually expecting on gold. And what this is what I'm actually expecting for gold to do, right? Okay, so moving to a 1 hour time frame, we can see that what I'm seeing is actually a good trade, right? Or rather a good trade idea, because this is what we are actually expecting for gold to do. This is what we are expecting for gold to do, because looking at this, we can see that this is a clear market direction. This is clear, and there's nothing else we can do or rather put onto it for us to actually analyze it and know it much more better, right? This is the only move which we can see, and this is the only move which we are anticipating. So moving to Nasdaq. Okay, moving to Nasdaq. All right, let me start from it. Okay, so I think we have been doing good with Nasdaq. All right, yeah, we have been capitalizing more on Nasdaq this previous week or other weeks, because yes. I think I missed this one here. I think I missed this one. I did not enter this one because I was on a margin call on currencies. I traded a lot of currencies, and those most of those pairs were in a bit of a loss, so we do not have enough leverage to enter this Nasdaq trade. But however, we managed to close on good profits this previous weeks, right? Okay, so let's go to a daily time frame and look at the full view on a daily time frame. Okay, so looking at this, gold and Nasdaq do not have similar moves, so which means that Nasdaq will be a much more quicker analysis than gold, because gold is much more complex and it needs more understanding, right? Unlike Nasdaq is just simple. You just analyze and you just capitalize and you are done, right? So let me remove all these drawings. Okay, so as you can see, we already have our change of market structure, right? Which is this here. We already have our change of market structure, which is this zone here, because we can see that as soon as the market came to the zone here, it went to the upside, right? Similar to here. Okay, so we can see that as soon as the market came to the zone here, it went to the upside, similar to what we have here. As soon as the market came to this zone here, it went to the upside, and it came to test this level, which is alignment with this level here, right? And then it came to the upside. So we now know the direction of the market. As I've said, guys, that with Nasdaq, it's not much more of a complex analysis. It will just be simple, quick, and nice, right? So looking at this, we can see that we have been having a beautiful uptrending structure, right? But however, with Nasdaq, I feel like we'll be having some sort of a reversal, right? Because I can see something with Nasdaq which I know a lot of people are not seeing, right? If you can look previously, where the market rejected or rather reversed, right? We can see that we have this level, right? Which acted as our reversal level. Okay, so let's look at the current structure. Okay, so let's look at the current structure. Let me just clone this and tell me if what happened before is not what we will expect currently. Tell me if what we had before is not what we would expect currently. Apart from, obviously, the market analysis won't be as perfect as before, because honestly, they don't want you to see what will happen, because they know that as soon as they show you what happened exactly as it happened, you will capitalize more on it because you can see a clear move of what happened before and what is happening currently, right? So looking at this, guys, don't you see that this is a much more similar analysis or a similar direction? Because if also we can take this here, let's take this, let me clone it. Obviously, it won't be that type of a huge similarity, right? But however, it's a similarity, right? We can see that we have a first top and we have a bit of a consolidation inside this top here, right? Or rather this high. We have a consolidation inside it, and therefore we also had this high here, which the market um respected and it went to the downside, right? And also here we have a similar thing. We have this high here, we have a bit of a consolidation inside that high, and we also will be having another high, which from this high I can anticipate that the market should come to the downside. No matter what, the market should come to the downside, right? And break this zone here and probably come to this point here, right? This is my view on the daily time frame because I can see that this is a much more similar analysis. This is a much more similar analysis. There's nothing more clear than this. There's nothing more clear than this because also, if you can look previously, we had an uptrend and then we had that high. Similar, or rather same to here, we had an uptrend and we have that high. Okay, so another thing which will make it much more similar is this change of market structure and this change of market structure. Apart from this one, yes, this one is a change of market structure, but this one was probably created by an event, right? By an event. So we'll be focusing on this one and this one here, right? Which are our change of market structure. We know that as soon as the market reached this change of market structure, it went to the upside, right? Similar to here, reached this change of market structure and went to the upside, which is actually a good sign for us that the market is in a bullish momentum. But will it sustain the bullish momentum? That's the question we should be asking. Will it sustain the bullish momentum, right? Okay, so looking at this, or rather looking at it, we can see that, okay, we have been having a beautiful uptrending move, right? We have been having a beautiful uptrending structure or a bullish momentum. All right. I know that most people will expect this level to be a support level, but to me, it's still a resistance level, right? To me, it's still a resistance level. Because we do not have any confirmation yet of the resistance turning into a support. We need a full proper confirmations that this level here is now our support instead of being our resistance level, right? Okay, so let's jump into the 4 hour time frame. But before we jump into the 4 hour time frame, there's something that I think we are missing, right? So we are missing this here, which is what we should be looking at, right? Okay, let's move to a 4 hour time frame. Moving to a 4 hour time frame, we can clearly see that what we are actually looking at is what we are actually anticipating, right? Even if I can remove this, let me just remove it so we can have a clear analysis, right? Okay, so from here, we are still in our zone, right? We are still in our zone. Therefore, we are expecting a beautiful reversal from this point here to the downside. Because why? Because the market is, or rather will be failing to break that level, right? Because another thing which we can see is that we have this beautiful trend here, which will also confirm to us as a reversal, right? Which will also confirm to us as a reversal, right? So we have this trend which will also confirm to us as a reversal. Why do I consider this trend? Is because we have the first touch here, second touch here, and this a possible third touch. And as soon as we get to the third touch, we have to have a move to the downside, right? Okay, so as I've said, guys, that Nasdaq is a simple and a clear analysis or rather a pair to analyze on because it shows you what you want to see and gives you what you want to get, right? It's not that much complex, it's not that much complicated and all those things, right? So let's move to a 1 hour time frame. With a 1 hour time frame, we can see that we are having a rejection, right? Because looking at this, we can also tell that at this zone here, that's what we are expecting the market to do. Okay, so within this analysis, what I can say is that I'm looking at this as a form of consolidation before we break that level and retest it and continue to the downside, right? Let me just extend it. Okay, yeah. So this is what I'm actually looking at, and therefore I'll be waiting for the market to actually give me a double top, or even here on this double top, we will enter the trade and have our take profit probably at this level here or at our previous zone, and have our stop loss just here because we do not have any other reasons why we should put our stop loss just high, so here we can capitalize more on it. Because we will be actually having a double top, right? First top, second top. But however, the market can create a third top, which will give us enough momentum to continue to the downside, right? So this is a much more simple analysis. As I've told you guys that I'll be actually having a weekly forecast with you. So we'll be doing this, guys, every week. Every week, every Sunday, we'll be having a weekly forecast, and we'll be analyzing different currency pairs, right? We'll be having currencies, gold, Nasdaq, and anything that you guys want us to analyze on, right? So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you follow us on Facebook and all our social media platforms so that you do not miss out on any updates or any uploads that we are going to make, right? So that you don't miss out once we upload. Otherwise, let's make money make sense. This is all from me, FX Major, your mentor.